In a cozy sun-drenched kitchen in the heart of Manhattan, where the scent of fresh brewed coffee mingles with the muffled sound of city life below, Kelly, Ripa and Mark Consuelos sit at opposite ends of the dining table. A tangle of newspapers, to-do lists, and mismatched coffee mugs lies between them, a symbol, perhaps, of the organized chaos of their lives. Their home is a tapestry of stories, laughter, and disagreements, a family space layered with years of shared moments, teenage angst, triumphs, and the occasional silent treatment. After nearly 3 decades of marriage, Ripa and Consuelos are household names, beloved for their on-screen charm and chemistry. But behind the scenes, they admit, they're not always on the same page. "People think we're this polished couple who have it all figured out," says Kelly, tucking her legs under herself, perched like a cat on her kitchen chair. "But Mark and I argue about the dumbest things. Like, truly dumb." Mark chuckles, sipping his coffee, his sleeve rolled halfway up his forearm. "I still think we should have bought that espresso machine. It would have saved us a lot of barista-related tension. It costs more than my first car." Kelly fires back, but she's smiling. This is their dance, playful, pointed, affectionate, and full of subtext. The couple, who married in 1996 after a whirlwind romance sparked on the set of All My Children, have raised 3 children together, Michael, Lola, and Joaquin, all of whom have now either left the nest or are busy mapping out their own paths. "Empty nesting is weird," Kelly admits, twirling a spoon absent-mindedly. "You spend decades parenting and then suddenly there's all this silence. It's like, what now?" Mark nods, thoughtful. "We both had these different visions of post-kid life. I thought we'd travel. I had this fantasy of just hopping on a plane to Rome or Buenos Aires on a whim." Kelly laughs, raising an eyebrow. "You also thought we'd suddenly become minimalists. Have you met me? I have an emotional attachment to throw pillows." This disconnect, between Mark's spontaneous wanderlust and Kelly's love of routine and home, has become a running theme in their current chapter. It's not resentment. It's not even real conflict. It's more like recalibration. "We're in a new season," Mark says. "Before, everything revolved around the kids, schedules, schools, college tours, orthodontist appointments. Now, it's like we have to rediscover us again." Kelly nods, more serious now. "You learn things about your partner you didn't know before, or maybe you just didn't have time to notice. Like how Mark likes to put salt on grapefruit. Who does that? Don't knock it till you try it," Mark shrugs. They burst into laughter again. Their rhythm is undeniable. Even when they disagree, and they do, there's a layer of fondness that cushions the tension. But it's not always laughter. "There are times," Kelly says, glancing at Mark, "when I feel like we're reading 2 different books entirely. Not just on different pages." She leans forward, voice softer now. "Parenting was such a unifier. There was always this shared goal. But now, we have to make sure we're working just as hard on being partners, not just co-parents." Mark is quiet for a moment. "There were days when I'd get home late from a shoot, and I'd find Kelly half asleep on the couch, laptop open, texts from the kids flying in, a half-written grocery list on her lap, and I'd feel like a visitor. Like I'd missed the plot of the story she was living." That's marriage though, Kelly says. "Sometimes it's a shared chapter. Sometimes it's parallel paragraphs." This vulnerability isn't new for them. They've often been candid in interviews and on their show Live with Kelly and Mark. But in the intimacy of their home, away from cameras and cue cards, their honesty takes on a different weight. "We went to therapy," Mark says bluntly. "Because we knew we were drifting, not apart, exactly, but sideways. It was one of the best things we ever did," Kelly agrees. "Not because it magically solved everything, but because it gave us tools to listen better. To stop assuming. And to admit when we're wrong," Mark adds, giving Kelly a look. Kelly grins. That part's mostly for him. Despite the differences, his love of spontaneity, her obsession with lists, his tendency to move fast, her need to reflect, they find ways to meet in the middle. "He'll plan surprise dates, but he leaves a post-it so I don't panic," Kelly says. "She'll let me drag her to a weird jazz club, once. Then we go to a place with actual music, as she puts it," Mark adds. Their kids have become unexpected mediators in some ways. Lola will FaceTime us and say, "You're both being dramatic. Go outside and get some air," Kelly says. "Michael once told us we were too intense for empty nesters," Mark laughs. "I think he meant it as a compliment." As they talk, the dog ambles into the room and flops at Kelly's feet. She absent-mindedly scratches its ears while Mark leans back, looking at her like someone who's still just a little bit in awe. "We're not perfect," he says. "We disagree. We annoy each other, but we still choose each other. That has to count for something." "It counts for everything," Kelly says quietly. The late morning sun creeps higher, casting long shadows across the table. Somewhere in the background, a phone buzzes with a reminder. Maybe a meeting, maybe a grocery list, but for now, the couple is still together, not always on the same page, but, perhaps, still writing the same story. Because love, in the end, isn't about perfect agreement. It's about persistence, adaptation, laughter in the middle of an argument, a hand reached across a messy table, a shared look that says, "I see you, even when I don't understand you." And for Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, that's more than enough.